Hello everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. My name is Alex. I'm outside Stamford Bridge after a 1-0 win against Fulham. I'm here with Nina. Nina, it's a win, a local derby win. If it even is a derby, I can't remember the last time we lost this game. Not in my lifetime, at least. How did you find it?
Yeah, got a win, a result. We've wanted results, we got a result. I mean, it was a penalty, Cole Palmer. We survived though, we survived because those last 10 minutes felt like survival. We survived Anthony Taylor's reffing as well. So I said that Stamford Bridge is never going to be a quiet day if Anthony Taylor's reffing it, and you saw it today. I mean, he got a reaction. Did he want to give any more free kicks in that second half? And he booked Enzo for a clear tackle, which I didn't get. But anyways, he didn't manage to ruin the day. It was a 1-0 victory. And look, with recent results and how we've been going, it's hard to just pull us apart and, you know, really criticise a game that we've won, even though it was difficult. It wasn't convincing in the slightest. But when have we been convincing this season?
No, and well, I think we've certainly had moments,
yeah.
But that's a different conversation altogether. Recently, our performances have been piss poor. I mean, anyone with a set of eyes can see that. But the question is, you know, we've had so many great performances, like Arsenal, like City, like Liverpool, where we haven't capitalised, and people want to criticise the fact that we can't pull out a result. So the fact that we're doing it ugly, but able to come out with 3 points, something positive has to come out of that.
Yeah, no, definitely. And also a clean sheet. Big ups to Petrovic today. 2 very good, world-class, important saves. We could have conceded in that game. And judging by how we were going in that front line and how we were moving forwards, we probably would have been beaten if it come to that. They had 2 clear-cut chances there to punish us. So fair play, Petrovic. To me, he looks well solid. I wouldn't rush bringing in Sanchez straight away because you've got some solidity there. He's good at collecting crosses as well. You know, when Fulham were crossing, he was very dominant aerially as well, so I like that in a keeper. Distribution looked good, so on the most part, I'm very happy with him. Moving forward, in the first half, it was very slow. You know, I was yawning at one point before the penalty. Anyway, it felt like nothing was going to come of this game, and I looked at it and I was like, what tactics can I actually identify in this first half? It was just side-to-side football, passing it, receiving it, and then turning back and just passing it to Petrovic. Really, when we were playing it out the back, everyone just kept it at their feet for a good couple minutes to see where the movement was. Nobody was trying to open themselves up either. Everyone was hidden behind a Fulham player and just waiting, really. And that was slow, static football where you're not going to get anything out of it. So that's surely on Poch. I thought at times Breuer was too far out in the wings and stuff. You're our striker. You should be in the penalty area. At times he was crossing it, but obviously nobody's there because if Palmer's not going to make a run in, it's not going to anyone.
Let me ask you about Breuer as well, because for me, as a player who thrives on aerial balls, being able to head the ball, I don't think he competes enough, and I don't believe that he challenges enough for 50-50s, which is the least you should ask for from a striker. I mean, personally, I'm not seeing the willingness to compete outside of the opportunities of scoring goals, just generally on the pitch. I mean, how do you see Breuer?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's too demanding in that front line when he is leading it anyway. And as well, you saw at times he had the ball today, an opportunity to shoot, and he was trying to make it comfortable on his feet too much. As a striker, you can't do that. You don't get given time to do that. He already had 3-4 players on his back, and of course he's going to get dispossessed. He's got to be finishing when he receives it. So I don't get that sort of a striker instinct finish from him, where it's first touch and shoot. And really, in games like that, you can't afford to do that. Fulham were very aggressive. They were very, you know, they pressed us for much of that game, and they've got a lot of rapid players in their front line as well. So you can't afford to be like that. Look, I kind of make the excuse for a player when he comes back from an ACL injury that maybe it's going to be a slow recovery, getting himself back in mentally as well. But I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Breuer this month because Jackson's away at AFCON. He's our only out-and-out number 9, so he's going to have to step up big time. And I'm sure Breuer wants to stay at Chelsea. I'm sure he wants to fight for a place at Chelsea, but I think the fans are going to have a lot more expectations for him moving forward. So at times he turns his back to the keeper as well too much, and he tries to lay it off, but you're supposed to be that one that's receiving it and finishing it. It's got to be the end ball that's got to be yours. So I don't get that from him too much. So I'm a bit torn. You know, we've seen that he's been in poor form last few games. He's been very frustrating to watch at times, but then again, you know, he scored against Preston. He was benched the next game. So here I'm a bit torn. Do I blame the manager or do I blame Breuer? Because he's the one, Pochettino's the one that's slating players. When they play well, they don't get rewarded a start. They get benched the next game, and we'll have Cole Palmer playing as a false nine when you've literally got an option there. So it's sort of 50-50 with that, you know, who's at fault.
No, that's a very fair point. I mean, just going back to what you were saying with Petrovic, I mean, we were speaking the other day on Round the Corner about whether we would start Sanchez or Petrovic.
Yeah.
And I think the overriding feeling was we didn't really know because we hadn't seen enough of Petrovic, so you can't really compare the two. But we've seen much more of him now.
Yeah.
Has your decision been made?
Yeah. I mean, look, you knew I wasn't Sanchez's biggest fan when he arrived through. I know he had very key saves, but at times he was the one that recovered his own mistakes. So well done, Sanchez. You saved a ball that you gave away to the opposition anyway. Look, he has looked good. You know, he's got height. He seems to be quite physical. He's good. You know, he hasn't caused us too much trouble, but with the ball at his feet, he gives me more anxiety than Petrovic does, for example. Plus, Petrovic has already shown consistent amount of saves. He seems to be a good leader as well. He's very vocal, because when I was sat behind the goal today, I could hear him speaking to his defenders, his players, and that's a really nice quality to have. So that's
Sanchez doesn't strike me as that kind of keeper.
No, not really. I think he's a little bit more quiet in that regards, but you know, it's a decision that the manager will make, but I don't think there's a reason that Petrovic should be benched really for Sanchez to return. It's not like Sanchez is our #1 keeper anyway. I said they were both #2 keepers when they came into Chelsea. It was just a case of Kepa left the door when Sanchez arrived, so he instantly became #1, but Petrovic is showing quality, so for me he should start, really.
Let's talk about the Colwell-Chilwell situation. We'll start with Colwell. He played at left back again today, but I actually think he had an exceptional game. I think it was one of his best games at left back. And then Pochettino, when Chilwell came on, rather than replacing a like-for-like left back with a left back, he took off Sterling and played Chilwell as a left winger.
Yeah, because that makes total sense. It's nice to see Chile back, of course, but like as much as I wanted him to get back into his natural position, I knew Pochettino was going to put him straight back there on the left wing because it's what he's been doing. We've seen that Poch likes to overcomplicate things. You know, we've had left backs this season, but Colwell still started ahead of them where he's had the choice. So I think we're just going to see it. But you're right, Colwell I thought did grow into the game. I thought the first half he struggled a little bit, did get pushed out a bit because he's physically not as strong in that left back row, and in that full back position you have to have strength and dominance to, you know, mark your ground, and I don't think he necessarily has that too much. But I saw some really good forward passes from him as well today. He even drove the ball himself into those sort of key areas to look for his man as well, and that's good. But again, I think we are inhibiting his game. I think he can give us so much more when he is in a natural centre back role. You've got Chilwell back now, so when he is fit to start, I would like to see Chilwell as a left back and then Colwell as a centre back and see how that plays out, you know, because it just didn't make sense. We had a centre back at left back, a left back at left wing when you've got left wingers on the bench too. So really that's stopping someone from Mudryk from coming on, getting his game time. It was nice to see Noni Madueke come on. I thought he livened things up. I like the fact that he's quick. He will get it, take it up until the end of the line and not rush to make a cross when there isn't anyone there. He'll slow it, wait for people to get in there and then try and make a pass. So yeah, I think a lot more things happened in the second half. There was a lot more energy. I mean, Enzo Fernandez as well, big up to him. He was my man of the match today, and I think he was the official man of the match too, but he was fighting for every ball, every interception, every tackle. He was moving around, you know, he was feeding Caicedo balls, he was stretching and like using his range of passes that we know him to have. You know, we brought him in for that. We brought him in for his wide variety of passes.
It's amazing what happens when you play him in the right position.
Yeah, surprise, surprise, Poch. But look, does he learn? No, he won't. He'll consistently make things difficult. But this is what I said about Pochettino inhibiting these young players from getting the best out of their game. You know, we know they're young, but if you play them out of position and give them challenges they're not ready for, they're not going to do anything for you. And that's on you as a manager to spot. I'd say tactically, I was kind of confused with how we set up and what the game plan was. I'm starting to see why people tell me that Pochettino's not a very good tactical coach because, you know, even though in the second half we did look better, I'm not really seeing a playing style here where I can tell you exactly what we do in and out of possession, you know?
Yeah. No, I have to agree with you. I think his man management must be unbelievable because he was criticised for the same things at PSG, you know, which makes me wonder what it is that's so special. But I suppose time will tell, and hopefully the results will go in the right direction. I've just got one more question for you. Gallagher. I mean, I was speaking with Charlie about this, and well, Charlie's not a big fan. You know, from today, he says Gallagher's too safe, and it leads me to my next point, which is playing Gallagher. It affects Caicedo and Enzo, and it also affects, you know, the front line as well, because Palmer's naturally a number 10. Sterling plays better on the right, and you're having to move all of these players around because of one. I mean, how do you solve that?
Look, I actually think that, again, Pochettino inhibits our game like that, because Palmer, if you put him as a 10, he gives you so much more than he does as a winger. Don't get me wrong, he's great there, but he is someone that can provide you so much more creativity and doesn't play safe like Gallagher does. He will make the forward pass where he can. He won't pass it back. He won't get tackled immediately, and his decision-making on the ball is just naturally a lot better than Gallagher's. Gallagher will offer you press. He'll do that. He'll offer you a run around on the pitch. He'll offer you an interception here and there maybe, but Palmer offers a lot more. And really, you say he's having to accommodate for this one player and switch everything around when it really shouldn't be. So a conversation needs to be had there. But look, he has been good this season. Whether he's the best player in his position, no, he's not. Whether he is a player that Chelsea should build around, probably not either. You know, if you look long term, we could potentially be building something without him. I mean, he's been great, don't get me wrong, I didn't want to sell him, but I still think there's room for him maybe as a squad player in and out of rotation, but he won't give you the consistency and he won't give you the perhaps creativity that someone like Palmer did. And, you know, Charlie's right, he did play it safe today. He did play it safe.